Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, the session which is talking about challenges, new space, opportunities, perhaps most of the things are already covered in the morning during the inaugural session itself. So perhaps whatever that you are saying now is kind of a repetition than whatever the chairman said and others have said in the morning. Now, the interesting part is, instead of putting my time on the what's happening in the new space, there's nothing like a new space and the world space. Space is a space. And the space is such a vast area, so depending upon the technology developments, we use the LEOs or MEOs or GEOs, depending upon the opportunity that we have, it depending upon the technology developments on that. So therefore, the space is a space, okay? And when you look at I would like to speak more about the opportunities that we have now in this sector. As an entrepreneur, as an industrialist, I would like to talk more about that. In fact, you will be knowing that the kind of opportunities that you have today, which were not existing earlier, today we are going to be the part of $1 trillion US kind of opportunities that we have today all over the globe. Though they say that 440 billions is the kind of economy, space economy, in which India is 2%. Fundamentally, I don't believe that India has only 2% contribution to that. My strong belief is India has much more than 2% has been contributing all along since the inception of Indian space program. So therefore, we need to recompute the entire figures. I don't want to borrow a figure which has been quoted by somebody else from outside. And the second part is, today, the opportunities India has so much, such a vast country, and even 50% people are not able to reach the bandwidth. And ISRO sometime back launched a satellite called EduSat, where the purpose of the satellite was to provide education to the satellite, which means whatever you call that, Dora education, whatever you call that kind of education. That has become very handy during the COVID pandemic. That's where people have been taught how to get into the education sector through the bandwidth. Now, that kind of a necessity is becoming more and more now of late. And as you see, that is not only the large satellites that are going to be around, it is also going to be small satellites. Now, from this angle, if you look at it, the university's education also changing the entire scenario. Brick and mortar education, the entire thing is changing. So therefore, best of the professors can be engaged for creating the content, and the content can be transferred. And that's how the entire scenario has been working out today. So that's where the satellites are going to play the important role. And many of the youngsters around here, I see, in fact, today's session, many youngsters are here. And I'm sure that all of them have some ideas or whatever they are looking at it. And I must tell them that, there's a huge opportunities in this sector. Though, as Mr. Jain has mentioned, it's going to be a long gestation period, but anything aerospace is a long gestation. But however, this is the best field to be in, which is the technological innovations onto that. And India is the best market. And by 2024, India is going to be the 5th largest economy in the world. By 2027, India is going to be, at the same rate by growing, the 3rd largest economy. You can imagine, when such a largest economy in the world, India being part of that, and India is such a huge economy, you can imagine the kind of a space-based services are required in this country, both in terms of products, services. When say products, downstream side is one part of it, and also satellites in different orbits. That's the kind of market that we have in this country today. And it's also said that 20% of the working class will belong to India by 2047. So this is 20% of the world population, working population are from India itself on that. That itself is a great opportunity. So therefore, I must say that it is not only the decade of India, but it's of a century of India. That's going to be the great thing for future. So I want all of you to keep this in mind, plan your actions in space sector. When I come to the challenges, well, challenges are very many. And though I've been talking about the reforms in this sector during the last 1 year, but still something is yet to see the light of the day. I must say this as an entrepreneur, in the sense that the space policy is clear, but actions to be derived out of the space policy is yet to take shape on that. Hopefully, that something is around the corner, then that gives us the clear idea as to how to plan, how to go about things on that. So therefore, even the regulatory mechanism is going to be in place, already in place, but how this is going to work it out, and how the activities between the governmental sector and the private sector has to take up. The policy part is clear, but in terms of action, one has to look at that. So hopefully, these things will be sorted out very soon, and thank you very much.